Hello, everyone. Good evening or good morning, or, wherever you are. Welcome. Most of you are our regulars, so welcome back. To the new ones, just to let you know that if you have any question, if you want to share any thought, please use the chat box. If there is a question, I'm sure Philip will answer it gladly. And let's start. Welcome, Philip.
Thanks very much, Inez, and welcome everyone to this most auspicious day of the year, Wesak. I'm going to talk for about 5 or 10 minutes first before we get into the meditation, just to remind you of a few of the attributes of Wesak. And how's my sound, Inez? Does it need turning up at all? Hello?
Sorry. My sound did not work now. I'm so sorry. It's fine. Your sound is fine.
Okay, and everyone can see my screen?
Yes.
Very good. So this is from the newsletter that most of you get, I think. And some of you may be aware of this, some of you may not, but just to be aware of the fact that the Wesak Valley is a physical location in Tibet, and it is very close to the legendary Mount Kailash, reputed to be the abode of Shiva. I think in this painting here, Kailash's background here somewhere, this is the Wesak Valley. It's about 22,000 feet above sea level, so which is only it's very close to the height of Everest, about 28,000 feet. So a very rarefied atmosphere, and many pilgrims trek to Wesak physically, taking 2 or 3 months to get there, Tibetans and so forth. And people from all around the world actually go there, but mainly in consciousness, not so much in the physical form. And it's a festival that we can all join in consciousness. And some of you may have actually gone there. Alice Bailey, in her autobiography, describes her experience of attending the Wesak Festival once. So in this painting, we see the Buddha up here in the sky. They say he returns once a year, but only descends as far as the mental plane. He's no longer with us, so to speak. He's in the process of leaving the earth chain altogether and going on his cosmic journey. And the one who holds the office of the Christ currently will take over the Buddha's role. These two brothers have been working for millennia together, and the Christ embodies the love principle of the love, wisdom, ray, and the Buddha.
I think um, the internet, the Philip's internet froze. This is happening a lot to him lately. So let's wait. Um, he's back. There he is. We can't hear you, Philip. Your sound is off.
Well, that was a relief. I thought it might be a 5-minute crash. Mercury
No.
retrograde has been playing havoc with me today. And that's another story. Anyway, I better reshare my screen, I think. Is my screen visible?
No, not now.
I better
You
reshare it.
have to
Okay.
share it. Yes.
Okay, where is it now? There it is. Okay. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, let's keep our fingers crossed that I don't drop out again. So as I was saying, um, this is an annual gathering where all the aspirants and disciples of the Master's ashrams make contact, try and make conscious contact with their ashram, with their master, with the hierarchy as a whole, to receive the new impulse for the new year that was generated, of course, in the previous sign Aries, and which is earthed in this earthy sign of Taurus and distributed in the third festival, Gemini, the three main festivals of each year, Aries, Taurus, Gemini. So we say it's a unique time where, in fact, the energies of Shambhala, the hierarchy, and the new group of world servers and humanity are aligned. And this other diagram in my newsletter, which I use quite frequently, depicts this. These three yellow circles here, Shambhala, hierarchy, humanity. And we, as conscious participants in the new group of world servers, in this linking blue circle here between hierarchy and humanity, which embodies, in fact, what we call the Ajna chakra of the planet. Hierarchy, of course, the heart center, Shambhala, the head center, humanity, the throat center. So it's good to be reminded of a few of these things in terms of the purposeful service work that we seek to bring about on Wesak, and of course the Wesak period, which will last another couple of days and has been active for the previous 2 days. The whole period around the Wesak festival, and this one particularly strong with the relatively rare conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus, which I mentioned in my latest newsletter. So the theme of the Buddha is strong at this festival. At Aries and Gemini, the other two festivals, it's more strongly the theme of the Christ. But of course, the Christ is present through all as the world teacher, is present through all three festivals. In fact, all 12 annual festivals, full moons. And of course, as I've said also, this festival is particularly important because it is the forerunner of the 2025 Wesak Festival, which will be the centennial conclave of the Masters, the once in 100-year meeting where the Masters meet with Sanat Kumara in Shambhala, and they make a decision about when they choose a date, in fact, about when the externalization of the hierarchy will take place in the next few decades, I'm sure, maybe sooner, maybe later. So we live in momentous times, and of course the conflicts that we've been going through in the last several years are all indicative of the hierarchy approaching and their highly refined frequencies clashing with the grosser frequencies that we all live in. And in so clashing, they also bring out or evoke the shadow of humanity, the dweller on the threshold, the planetary dweller on the threshold, with which we all have contributed to, of course. So we are members of the new group of world servers, or aspiring members, who, of course, a majority of whom are probably not versed in esotericism at all. They work at the coalface in all the various different departments of human expression. Here's a great photograph here of the Wesak Valley. Can you see that? I've just got these toolbars floating across my screen here. Can you see that?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
we can see your screen.
And there's a better photograph of Mount Kailash up there, the very pyramid-shaped mountain, and the various devotees making their way up towards a stupa up here in the center of the valley, which is strewn with flags Tibetan prayer flags and so forth. So the valley is about 20,000 feet, there's here. Of course, we have the triangle of Shambhala, hierarchy, and humanity, or these three beings who link up at this time. The Buddha, representing the third aspect, the Christ, the second aspect, and Sanat, who embodies the first aspect or first ray of Shambhala. So quite an extraordinary linking. Taurus also rules the new group of world servers. We've been told by the Tibetan. I've had many articles and essays on my website that you can consult about that. And maybe you've read some in the past, my past newsletters. You can inform yourself in your own time about that if you're not already familiar with that. Taurus rules the bull's eye or the third eye, or the Ajna center, which is a little bit different from the third eye. But so there is a powerful connection with the fixed star Aldebaran and the constellation of Taurus in this respect. Also, I talk about the cycles of the new group of world servers. We're entering into the 2024-2025 1-year cycle of tension and expansion, which corresponds to the 9-year cycle of tension and expansion, which started in 2023. And of course, we're moving towards the third year cycle in 2025, which is called the emergence and impact on public consciousness, which is most appropriate in terms of not only this 3-year cycle, but of course the centennial meeting of the hierarchy with Shambhala. Anyway, you can consult this yourself, of course. I do talk about the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction and various things that may occur related to that. And I also discuss Taurus in terms of the environment, the animal kingdom, the vegetable kingdom, and Luther Burbank, the mystic botanist, and so forth. So I think I've said enough. We can talk some more after the meditation. But for now, I think just a little bit of a preamble there to get us tuned in to this amazing annual meeting. So I'm going to change where are we? Sharing my screen again, wherever it is. Whoops. New share. And there we go. Can you see the meditation here now?
Yes, yes.
Very good, thank you. Okay, friends, let us join in this amazing communion of souls. Let us release all the activity and busyness of the day so far. Taking a deep breath, releasing, relaxing, moving into the stillness. And we will sound 3 ohms to align the lower self, the personality, the 3 vehicles of the personality, mental, emotional, and physical. Visualizing light pouring through each of those vehicles each time we sound the om. Purifying the mental body, Oh. Radiating the astral or emotional body. Oh. And cleansing and purifying the etheric physical body. Oh. Personality stands radiant, integrated, and whole. And the light of the personality gradually moves towards the greater radiance of the soul. We see those two orbs of light merge, mix, and blend into one greater radiance of soul and personality alignment. And we bring our awareness as well to the thousands, if not millions, of other souls meditating at this time around the world. Our group brothers and sisters from many different disciplines, all who understand the importance of Wesak. We see ourselves connected with them in a great lattice work of light, an electric light grid that surrounds the earth. Stage 1, group fusion. We affirm the fact of group fusion and integration within the heart center of the new group of world servers, mediating between hierarchy and humanity. And so we sound the formula for group integration. I am one with my group brothers, and all that I have is theirs. May the love which is in my soul pour forth to them. May the strength which is in me lift and aid them. May the thoughts which my soul creates reach and encourage them. Alignment. We project a line of lighted energy towards the spiritual hierarchy of the planet, the planetary heart, the great ashram of Sanakumara, and towards the Christ at the heart of hierarchy. A line of lighted energy towards the spiritual hierarchy, the planetary heart, great ashram of Sanakumara. And towards the Christ the heart of hierarchy. Hey, I'm back again. We were in stage 2 alignment, projecting a line of lighted energy towards spiritual hierarchy. And now we extend this line of light towards Shambhala, the center where the will of God is known. And we do this from the center called the new group of world servers, linking hierarchy, humanity, and Shambhala. Stage 3, high interlude. We hold the contemplative mind open to the extraplanetary energies streaming into Shambhala and radiated through hierarchy. Using the creative imagination, endeavor to see the 3 planetary centers, Shambhala, hierarchy, and humanity, gradually coming into alignment and interplay. Having visualized that alignment, we now meditate stage 4 on the seed thought or the keynote for Taurus, which is I see, and when the eye is opened, all is illumined. I see, and when the eye is opened, all is illumined. Let us reflect upon this for a minute or so. Stage 5, precipitation. Using the creative imagination, visualize the energies of light, love, and the will to good pouring throughout the planet and becoming anchored on Earth in prepared physical plane centers through which the plan can manifest. And we use the sixfold progression of divine love as the sequence of energy precipitation. Shambhala, hierarchy, the Christ, the new group of world servers, men and women of goodwill everywhere, and the physical centers of distribution. Light, love, and the will to good pouring throughout the planet, becoming anchored on Earth. Stage 6, lower interlude. Let us now refocus the consciousness as a group within the periphery of the great ashram. The ashram of the Christ, which contains all the other ashrams. And together we sound the affirmation, in the center of all love I stand. From that center I, the soul, will outward move. From that center I, the one who serves, will work. May the love of the divine self be shed abroad in my heart, through my group, and throughout the world. Let us visualize the downpouring spiritual inflow released from Shambhala through the hierarchy and streaming into humanity through the prepared channel. Downpouring spiritual inflow. And we reflect upon how these inpouring energies are establishing a pathway of light for the coming world teacher, the Christ, also known as Lord Maitreya. Stage 7, distribution. As the great invocation is sounded, we visualize the outpouring of light, love, and power from the spiritual hierarchy, pouring through the 5 planetary centers: New York, London, Geneva, Darjeeling, and Tokyo, irradiating the consciousness of the whole human race. from the point of light within the mind of God. Let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God. Let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center, where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center, which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal a door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Oh, oh, oh. Thank you very much, everyone. Now, some of you may want to retain the buzz, if you like, from the meditation and maintain your silence, or that we are free to share impressions or ask any questions right now. So you can put something in the chat if you wish. Before I go on to discuss a bit more about Taurus. So I dropped out again during the meditation. I hope we didn't miss too much there. I assume we're back in now and I'm not talking to myself.
No, it was quite quick, the return. When I
Mercifully so.
realized that you were gone, you started to talk. So it was good.
All right, good. We've got something in the chat there. James says, what a joy to be able to touch the heart of God. Indeed. I see it as a communion, use that kind of Christian word, I suppose, that we associate with the communion, because it is a communion of souls, a meeting of souls at this time, of all our co-workers and the brotherhood of humanity, really. Very blessed time. got plenty of time to share, so please don't be shy. Put something in the chat if you wish. We have a good turnout from all around the world today. Great to see Canada, Italy, Portugal, Sardinia. I think there's one or two from Australia even, must be in the middle of the night there. Just let it be and use it in service, says Heidi. Indeed. Thank you. So anyway, I'll keep talking with regard to Taurus. Something else in the chat. Hugh asks, is the first ray related to Taurus through Vulcan? Yeah, Taurus is Vulcan is the esoteric ruler of Taurus and is the co-ruler of the first ray of will of power, along with Pluto. So Taurus people can be quite destructive in the misuse of that power. And a classic example is Hitler, who was a Taurus sun. And when he rose to power in the 1930s, Uranus was passing over his backwards and forwards across his Taurus sun, which is interesting. But because humanity is only just starting to learn how to use the will energy from Shambhala. As I've said before in many other talks, the hierarchy decided to take a calculated risk and remove the filter of hierarchy between Shambhala and humanity in order to speed up human evolution. And the point of least resistance for this first ray energy is the misuse and abuse of power, of totalitarianism, fascism, and so forth. And we're seeing a resurgence of that today, in fact, aren't we? Are we not? With the losing of democracy in many countries. Claudia says, forgive me for my ignorance, but how does one know one is part of the new group of world servers? Well, one doesn't really, I guess. You might have very definite affirmation of that fact, or you might understand the concept of the new group of world servers and aspire to be part of that. That's my best answer on that one for now. So Taurus is ruled by Venus at the personality level and Vulcan. And Venus, of course, is the goddess of beauty and art and related to sexuality. Taurus is the bull of desire. So that's one level of expression of Taurus. Many creative artists have strong Taurus in their makeup. But at another level, Venus is the ruler of the fifth ray of knowledge or science. And so Taurus being an acquisitive sign at the basic level of money and property and so forth, becomes the acquirer of higher knowledge that is transformed into wisdom, and hence the wisdom eye of Taurus in the Ajna center, the bullseye as we call it. James asks, is Wesak always a Taurus full moon? Yes, the full moon, the sun in Taurus with the moon in Scorpio opposite is Wesak. However, in Tibet, it's celebrated in the western sign of Gemini. So the pilgrims I told you about before, who make their way to the Wesak Valley over a period of a few months, they will start that in, maybe they're already started, but they will celebrate it in the Eastern Zodiac, and which is our Western Gemini. It's interesting because the Tibetan master who transmitted these teachings to Alice Bailey used the Western Zodiac festivals And so here is the great mystery between the sidereal and the tropical zodiac, which we are told will not be solved for until we enter the age of Capricorn in a couple of thousand years' time. And so we work within this illusion for now. There's an Australian filmmaker called Albie Falzon, who's a friend of mine, who made many beautiful documentaries on the spiritual festivals in India, and one of which was the journey to the Wesak Valley, which was screened as part of a Channel 7 Australia special. I don't believe it's available anymore for some strange reason related to copyright, but if you can find it online, it's really a marvelous documentary because the film crew plus a few Channel 7 employees um, went to the Wesak Valley in a big truck, um, and they were stranded just at the top of the valley. Their truck broke down, um, which was a highlight of the trip because it was a very long and sleepless night that they spent there. But it was beautifully documented. The Tibetan Buddhists parading around or circumnavigating around the stupa, the prayer flags, and it's a very reflective, meditative documentary with commentary here and there, but just giving you lots of beautiful visionary photography, cinematography, landscapes to reflect upon. Anyway, Claudia is saying it looks like it's available on YouTube. There are a few. There's a I'm not sure what the name of it is, but Albert Falzon, Falzon, um, is the person who made it. But there is a kind of a dumbed down version or a hybrid version of the original that's available that Albert made because the original was not available for a long time. So maybe that's the one you were seeing. It's nowhere near as good as the original, but if you can find the original, please post it here or send it to us on our email, info@aquarianwisdomcenter.com or .org, I think it is. So anyway, enough said there. I think this picture is one of the stills from that documentary. Of course, we have the paintings of Nicholas Roerich, who met up with the hierarchy and went very close to Shambhala in his epic journey in 1925 that took 4.5 years from northern India up into Mongolia, China, Gobi Desert, etc. An incredible journey. Really worth reading about it in one of his books. This is one of his paintings called His Shadow. Another one here, Burning of Darkness, the hierarchy in ritual somewhere up in the Himalayas. Of course, we know that the masters Kutumi and Moya and DK actually live in a place called near Shigat in Tibet, or in China now, I guess, which and they are physically incarnate, and as many other masters will be, will take incarnation in the next few decades as they externalize themselves amongst humanity. Here are some maps that I made regarding the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. These yellow circles in this map, I'm just going to try and get that centered, represent the path of Jupiter-Uranus around the world, the astrocartographic lines, and the sensitive places that they pass through. And although some of the things I mentioned, for instance, earthquakes and tsunamis and other factors may not happen during this Uranus-Jupiter conjunction, they may occur later when other transits and progressions trigger the degree of this conjunction, which is at about 22 degrees Taurus at the moment. I talk about USA and Russia in this respect, Israel and Iran. About Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus in 1941. That was the last time they were conjunct at one of the critical stages of World War II. I talk about Taurus and Vulcan and the mineral kingdom. We have here a picture, of course, of Hephaestus or Vulcan at his forge, hammering away, hammer and tongs, as the expression goes. And DK says that Vulcan also rules nations at a certain stage of embryonic soul expression, such as the present. He's talking back then in World War II, and governs their activities, fashioning the instruments of war when war and conflict are the only means whereby liberation can come, though woe betide those through whom wars come. Vulcan then takes hold, and since the Middle Ages has brought the mineral kingdom, the depths from which supply must come, under human control. In the present war, World War II, Vulcan is concerned, along with Venus, in the relation of man to man and of man to the mineral kingdom. Venus, the mental energy of humanity, establishes relation between man and man, between nation and nation, whilst Vulcan establishes relation between the fourth kingdom in nature and the first. Much to ponder on there, and touches on some of your question before there, Hugh. And I talk about in my newsletter how since that time, in the last 100 years, we have got into exploiting and exploring many more different types of minerals for electric batteries and all sorts of other technologies now. So it's really gone a long way since then. We have another classic painting of Vulcan at his forge with Venus watching on. Venus was married to Vulcan. Interesting symbology. These two rulers of Taurus, Venus and Vulcan. Venus, the most beautiful goddess, and Vulcan apparently very ugly and lame to boot. So there's some symbology there related to the misuse or the getting used to using this first ray energy correctly. Both of them so-called sacred planets. Beauty and the Beast I mentioned here, Venus and Vulcan. But Vulcan's not really a beast. It's a highly refined energy and is a extremely dense planet, which is very hard to see. It's an intra-Mercurial planet, which is very close to the sun, and of course has a lot of light coming from Mercury. That's why it hasn't been officially discovered yet, but there have been many sightings of Vulcan since the 19th century. So I talk about Uranus in Taurus. Uranus is a planet of science. It rules the seventh ray of ceremonial order or magic. It rules the age of Aquarius. So therefore, Uranus is extremely important in bringing through this next seventh ray cycle that we're in, which is going to go for over 2,000 years in parallel with the age of Aquarius. So its conjunction to Jupiter at the moment is really supercharging the expression of Uranus in Taurus. And of course, both Uranus and Taurus have a lot to do with money, hence the speculation about financial crashes, the transformation of the money system, whether that's from selfishly motivated forces or more altruistic, time will tell. currently the more selfish forces seem to have the upper hand in that respect. Uranus, quoting here DK, the occult planet stands for exoteric science, which penetrates into the hidden side of form life, and thus we have the period wherein man is not alert enough or conscious enough to seize upon opportunity and turn it to esoteric or soul ends, but can identify himself with the more advanced aspects of form. And I note in my newsletter how this is very much related to people's preoccupation with technology. Ooh, that brand new iPhone 15. Do I want it? Do I want to spend $1,600 on that? Or is my iPhone 12 sufficient to get me by? You know, this is an absolute obsession, which has been created through marketing, of course, too. But it does have to do with the fascination with technology, with cameras, for instance, which yours truly shares somewhat. Um, so someone asked, what's the title or link? I'm not sure what that's related to. So there's a remarkable short video here with David Attenborough talking about the electrical current that can be measured in plants and the electrical current that a bee carries. Very, very esoteric. And so I have only about 2.5 minutes, really worth watching and reading my commentary about this. The science of bees is extraordinary science. There are so many facets to the bee kingdom, if you like, this consciousness which bees embody as the hive mind, so to speak. So that's worth a look. And also, of course, how flowers like this orchid imitate bees so that other bees are attracted to it and pollinate the plant or pick up pollen and take it to other plants. And so we have this so-called sex life of bees with it between themselves, but also with the vegetable kingdom through their pollination of other plants. Here we see a bee mounting one of these orchids that is an orchid bee, not a real bee. Of course, the diva kingdom is intimately associated with all this. We have a picture here from Jeffrey Hodgson's book, The Kingdom of the Gods. And there's also a discussion about flowers, perfumes, essential oils, and so forth, which are all healing herbs concentrated and which of course all relate to the vegetable kingdom, as does Luther Burbank, remarkable botanist, American botanist, who was a disciple of Yogananda, in fact, and was a Pisces. There's a remarkable picture of him here, quite interesting. And he bred many different types of roses, and he lived in Santa Rosa, and he had a house that was surrounded by a huge garden of roses, obviously one of his favorite flowers. Of course, the rose is a spiritual symbol of the heart, just as the Eastern lotus is, and the particularly of Scorpio too, I think, the red rose. So I think there's enough said. I'll let you read the newsletter at your leisure. Um, there's more stuff on the environment, a couple of profiles of various personalities, and yeah, that's about it. We still have a few minutes left for any comments or sharing. So the exact time, excuse me, of the full moon will be in a few hours' time. So they say it's always strongest 1 hour before. So if you're in a time zone in the States, in the Americas, I think you'll be able to meditate at a time that is not in the middle of the night. So, there are a few other meditations that other groups are doing as well, of course. But if you certainly want to just meditate by yourself at home, 1 hour before the exact time is always worth doing. And also for tomorrow as well, it's still going to be in the Wesak period. 7:49 p.m. Eastern Time, Hugh says. Thank you, Hugh. That's Eastern American time. I'm taking Eastern Canada, Eastern United States. EST. Yes, okay. And Eros says, what is your experience in Benjamin Cream's work? Well, it's a bit out of the discussion really tonight. I don't normally comment on other people's work, but he was a student of Alice Bailey and has a group, a broad global group, and there are Benjamin Cream meditations that you can attend. That's all I'm going to say on that for now. I'm going to write a paper about Benjamin Cream. I've been planning to for a few years because I've had a lot of contact with many of his students. But it's probably not appropriate for me to respond to that today. So do stay posted on that one with regard to my paper that I'm going to write about Benjamin Cream. All right, friends. That just about winds it up for the hour. Thank you very much for coming and contributing to this meditation, this service activity, in fact. And we look forward to seeing you all next month at the Gemini Full Moon Festival. Until then, I'll hand you over to Inez. Thank you, Inez.
Yes, thank you all for coming. And we hope to see you next month in the Gemini full moon meditation. Thank you.